Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today's video is for students, especially international students who are coming to United States for studying their bachelor's or master's degree. What are the things that they should remember before even moving to the United States? There are some important points that I will discuss in this video that you will need to consider before even moving to United States for studying. Also, I'm going to cover some of the important points after you come here and start your studies, some rules around job, how you can do the OPT, CPT, and also pitfalls to avoid. And then I will give you my perspective on what is the situation in USA for green card or getting a green card, especially if you're coming from India or China. So a lot of important points, guys. Watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Now, a lot of students from India or China or from the backlog countries aspire to go to the United States or Western countries in general to get their master's or even bachelor's degree. In the past, it used to be pretty straightforward as there were less number of students, but recently there have been a significant increase in the volume of students that have come in the last 10 years or so. Now, that has also put the pressure on getting a permanent residency in the United States, that is the green card. The backlog is ever growing, so you want to closely listen to all the points that I'm going to tell you first before you select your college or get your visa or land in the United States, and then after you join your college or university, and what are the points that you need to remember. So let's start with the things that you should consider before even considering moving to the United States for studying on F1 visa. Now, first of all, you want to consider what is your study of interest or field of interest. Essentially, what I mean is, if you have already done bachelor's degree in India, you might want to find something related or aspirational that is related to the topic that you have already studied. So research for the universities that are ranked in this particular category. Say for instance, you want to study law. Now there are a lot of good universities in the United States. The top ones are Berkeley or Harvard, especially for the law. But if you are wanting to go into the engineering, MIT might be the better choice. So utilize the resources from the university websites to see what are the courses being offered, and also talk to the students who have already taken those courses. Talk to the seniors who have already gone to the United States in those universities and taken those courses. You might also want to look at the faculty. What is the kind of faculty that they have? The top universities always hire PhDs and above as faculty, so they have highest level of knowledge and experience for you to get the benefit out of. Because you are paying incredible amount of fees as an international student, and you might want to get the most out of it. So university selection, course selection is the first step before even thinking about moving to United States. Now the second point you want to consider is the requirements checklist for those universities. Say for instance, you selected 5 universities that you want to apply for. Now check all the requirements, eligibility requirements for them. Most of them will have a GRE as a basic requirement and also test of foreign language or TOEFL. TOEFL is for English language. So for the people from non-English speaking countries like India, TOEFL is essential. So closely look for all those requirements. Some universities also have you submit your resume and also an essay. So pay close attention to what are the requirements that are needed. Now next, you will have to prepare for these requirements. In fact, you should take all these exams very seriously for GRE and TOEFL. Now I don't have to tell you how many classes and courses and tutoring is there out there in India for GRE and TOEFL. Be sure to select the right one who will give you the right level of expertise and prepare you to pass those exams in the first attempt, because you don't want to take multiple attempts that will miss your chance to get into the first semester of your universities. Now next, start gathering and preparing for your requirements and documentation early on, because you will need things like transcripts, mark sheets, such as your birth certificate, degree certificate, college certificates, and so on. You will need personalized essays that you will need to write specific to the university, specific to the coursework that you are taking, and also based on your experience and your college experience. So all this needs time, and you need to start preparing very early.
And that brings me to the sponsor of today's video. Have you ever done the Google search of your own name? Look what I have found when I did mine. Here's what comes up. While some of this information is relevant, the other makes me uncomfortable that my information is exposed for a sale like this. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, or anybody else who may want to target you. Your full name, email address, home address, your relatives' names, health information, it's all out there. That's why I have been using Aura, sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out request for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it also protects me from hackers who could use this information to help them access my social media accounts, bank accounts, or other sensitive information. Aura does so much more to protect my information and my family's information from online threats I can't see. I get other features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without having to download several different apps. It's really easy to set up, and best of all, I get everything for one affordable price. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like locking the front door but leaving your back door wide open. Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping me safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. I value my privacy and I value yours. You can go to my link which is on the screen and in the description and start your free 2 weeks trial. So protect your information, your family, and have a peace of mind. That's Aura.
Now next is applying for the universities. Now the first thing you need to know is admission requirements and the deadlines, because there are strict deadlines for specific semesters of the university. So there is a spring semester and there is a fall semester. Sometimes universities also let you start in the summer semester, but that is very rare. It's either fall or spring. The most common is fall semester, which starts typically in September. So in order to get the admission in September, you'll have to start applications as early as the year earlier, in November or December of earlier year. So even before you graduate. Now some people take a gap after your graduation in India, then prepare for IELTS and GRE, and then submit applications for the universities. That is also fine. But make sure you pay attention to the deadlines, because those are going to be critical in you getting the admission at the right time. Now once you have made the application within the deadline, the universities will let you know about their decision. They will actually send you the letter whether you got the admission in that university or not. If you have received admission in that university, you will need to accept it, maybe sometimes online, and then they will send you an I-20. Now I-20 is an important document that you will need to apply for your student visa, which is F1 visa. So be sure to get that I-20 before you apply or submit your application for an appointment for the visa at the consulate. Now this is all on a timeline, because during the year consulates do prioritize students visa because they are aware of the tight deadlines of the universities, so they prioritize student visas as well. So make sure that you submit your petition, take an appointment at the right time. Now before arriving into the United States, say for instance you received your F1 visa and it's typically for 5 years. Now you pack your bags, you get your ticket, and now you need to contact the university to find the accommodation. You contact the Internationals Association in the university to get connected with the existing students who have already gone there before you. So they might have information on the accommodations. Sometimes universities do send shuttles to the airport for the new students to pick up. But if that's not the case, make sure that you have some arrangement with somebody to pick you up and drop you at the university. Now you'll need to find a dorm or a temporary accommodation. Now there is also Airbnb that you can book for 1 or 2 weeks until you find your permanent accommodation. Now you also need to think about the bank account, your cell phones. Bring a cell phone if you already have from India, because most of the new cell phones do work in the United States as well. But make sure that they do work. Buy a SIM card as soon as you come in. Don't immediately buy a postpaid plan. You can buy a prepaid plan for the cell phone initially and then go to the postpaid once you settle down. Now after you arrive, you need to start engaging with the college campus. Start becoming part of the associations and meet new friends. Meet students, ask them questions, make your life comfortable, because there is also one important point. Arrive at the college or universities at least 2 weeks before your coursework starts. This will allow you time to settle in, get your place for residence, get all the groceries, get all the bank account set up, get familiarized with the university area and so on. Now once your coursework starts, your priority is studies. Make sure that you pay attention to complete your coursework. Now these were the important points that I wanted to tell you before arriving into the United States. Now let's quickly look at what are the things that you need to remember after you come and start your studies in the United States. Now there is something called Day 1 CPT. Now CPT is Curricular Practical Training. Now it is a type of authorization that is available for F1 students to start working, and this curricular practical training is related to your curriculum that you are studying in the university. It is intended to provide some work experience to the students while they are studying, and it has to be related to the curriculum. So you cannot be doing a job at the McDonald's on CPT. Some universities allow CPT from day one, and that is something that you need to refrain from. That can create some problems if not managed properly in your future immigration process. Now one more important thing about the F1 visa is they also allow optional practical training. Now OPT, optional practical training, is generally granted for 1 year after your study is completed. So this allows you to bridge the gap after your full-time studies are completed and getting your first job. Now OPT allows you to continue to stay in the United States and look for a job and even start working, because it's like an EAD. Now if you're studying in STEM, which is science, engineering, technology and maths, you actually get 2 more years of OPT extension. So 3 years in total of OPT extension. So this is enough time for you to start working with a company, and hopefully they apply for your H1B during the process. Now H1B being a lottery every year, you will need to apply on year 1 itself and try to get your H1B selected. If not, you will have to apply again in the second year and the third year. Hopefully you get your H1B picked up in these 3 years, because if not, then you are in a little bit of a trouble. I have made a special video on what are your options on if you don't get picked up on the H1B lottery in 3 attempts. So do check out that video as well. Now there are a couple of other things that I also want to point out regarding your work on campus during your studies. Now while you are working, you will also need to maintain your F1 status, which is your full-time allotment of your studies. This is very key. Now hours of work during the academic year, students are only limited to 20 hours of working on campus while they are studying, while they are fully enrolled. Now when you have lesser coursework, say during the summer months, you could increase your hours to 40 hours, up to 40 hours. But be careful about it. Don't work over 40 hours. It is also important to note that that is only provision if you still are continuing to study in the next semester as a full-time student. Now type of employment, type of work that you do on campus and off campus also matters. As I told you earlier, CPT allows you to study in the similar field of your curriculum. It has to be integrated with your curriculum. The work location should also be carefully considered. You cannot be working off campus on CPT on totally unrelated site that is not affiliated with the university. So here you have to be very careful. A lot of people fall into the trap, not thinking about the importance of these guidelines regarding working on campus during CPT. Now, if for some reason you get expelled from the university, your F1 becomes invalid and you have to leave the country immediately. Don't spend any unlawful presence days in the US in case you find yourself in that situation. Hire a good lawyer to see what are the options that you may have in that situation. Always work with a valid SSN. You need to get an SSN or IT number in order to work, because your work hours are tied to your social security number. So be sure to apply for one before you start working. Now we already talked about the H1 visa. Now one of the important things that I wanted to mention is, especially for students who are coming from backlog countries, that it is not all rosy garden in the United States as it used to be in the past. In the last several decades, the green card backlog, especially for students from India and China, has grown enormously. Now there is a wait period of at least 10 to 15 years for Indian students if they want to eventually get their green card. More often than not, you will be in EB2 or EB3 category that has a very long backlog. Right now the dates are at 2012 and it is 2024 today. So you can imagine you need to be prepared for that long of a wait. Very few people qualify for EB1A or EB1C. There is also a marriage-based route where you can get your green card sooner, but for the rest of the folks, it's a long journey. But in the United States, Remember, if you are not in EB1 category, you are out of luck. You will be waiting for your green card for decades. So that is the thing that you need to consider before coming to United States. Now I'm continuing to do my masterclass on EB1A. Do check out the link in the description to register for one, which is coming up next week, where I go into the intricate details of all the eligibility criteria and real world evidences. And if you want to reach out to me, there is always Calendly, where you can talk to me one-on-one, or Patreon, where you can chat with me. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. If you like the content of this video, do hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. And I will see you in the next one.